wrapped up in my sleeping bag, looking out the window at Aaron's house as the sun is beginning to creep over the horizon. And the trees are silhouetted black against the emerging blue sky with the fading stars up in the sky. And I think to myself how much I hate Aaron because he's got it fucking made with this fantastic house of his, this nice little piece of property tucked away out in the backwoods of South Dakota. God, I fucking hate him. I hope he dies. I hope he dies of syphilis. You piece of shit.
I'm confused, Cappy. I'm pulling it up here on the Twittergrams. You know it's bad when you're trying to find the answer on social media. Not that the media, regular media, when they wrote articles, did a good job of it anyway. But the data has come out recently. It's from the New York Federal Reserve, and this is from Unusual Whales on the Twitter chats. Mortgage refi rejections, and it reached 42%, which is, as far as this chart goes back as 2013, is the highest it's been. And you think like, wow, 4 in 10 are getting rejected. My question was, who the hell is refinancing in this market? Like with the higher interest rates. That's what seems to be the consensus question in here. And I have no, this is, it's just a fascinating economic phenomenon because I'm confused. So I went and I did a little bit of research. I still don't have the answer, but I have an article from the previous quarter this data was released. This comes from the National Mortgage Professional Association. And this was on an upward trend. So this is November 18th, 2024. Mortgage application rejections hit decade high. So this isn't even a refinancing. This is also the mortgage applications, just first-time applications, not refis. The average rejection rate for mortgage applications increased by 8.6 percentage points to 20.7 in 2024, well above the 2019 rate of 10.2%. So what is it now? If the refi rate and the overall mortgage application rate correlate in this upcoming quarter, quarter one of 2025, are we at 1 in 4? Is it that bad? Are people's credit that bad? 1 in 5, 1 in 4 are getting rejected for a regular mortgage, and then 4 in 10 are getting rejected for a refi? And then again, who's applying for refinance when your interest rate is likely going to be higher? You Americans don't. I'm not one of you people. I'm not one of you people. My genetics are completely different. If you pull the genetics, I'll say, well, he does have some shared genetics, but you see this fiscal responsibility gene? Yeah, he can't be American. He just can't be. I'm not one of you people. What the hell is wrong with you people? I got a better question. How is 1 in 4, just going with my estimate, how is 1 in 4 of you even bothering with a mortgage application? That always fascinated me back in banking. Some literally, you can have a credit score in the 300s. I didn't know that until I saw a couple, not one, a couple. 390 credit score. You come in with your 400, 500 credit score, you're wasting our time. Not just my time, our time. You're wasting your time too. You like to apply for a loan. Yeah, I see that's your hobby. You apply for loans all the time and you never pay them back. And I'd be the idiot saying, let's not let, hey, look, there's this thing called a credit score. Like if you want to do a quick and dirty underwriting, a quick and dirty analysis, let's just use this credit score and say ain't nothing under 650, right? Well, they fell on hard times. Not our problem. Not the responsibility of the shareholders of this bank or the depositors or the taxpayers that guarantee us. Not their problem. Well, you see, I'm a baby boomer banker and I didn't save any of my money because I've been trying to Dupro it like it was back in the 70s. And I got to make sure my wife doesn't divorce me, so I got to close all the loans I can, regardless of the risk and unlikelihood of ever being paid back, so I can collect the commission. And 4 in 10 of you are getting rejected for refis? How desperate are you that you are? The only thing I could fathom, is you're the typical Gen Xer. Here comes some criticism. Back in the housing bubble days, that was the thing. I know. Gen X is supposed to be the cool generation. We're not. Yes, baby boomers are doing this too. And the odds, what you would do to maintain your popularity, because that is the number one religion within the United States, is you would take out a home equity loan, bro, and then you would buy fancy shit with it. So you would never work up the cash to pay for it. You would let low interest rates inflate the value of your house, and you would take out the equity, and then you'd afford all the shit you ever needed to impress other people, fooling them into thinking that you were somehow hardworking or an accomplished individual or just good with money when you were just borrowing against your house. So I got to imagine there's some remnants of you dumbasses like that, who your house went up an extra 5%. You spend more than you make, but you got to keep up your lifestyle. So you went in for a refi to take cash out. That's what I'd like to see. What percentage of these mortgage applications that were rejected were cash out applications? You take cash out of the house. I remember people were financing European trips. I remember one couple actually financed a Corvette. Just this is back in the odds in the housing bubble days, before and after. Oh yeah, that was so. That's where I'm going. But I'll use this article from a quarter ago. New data published by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York paints a bleak picture of mortgage origination in 2024 as consumers' expectations of improving credit conditions remain subdued heading into next year. The average rejection rate for mortgage refinance, this is refinance, application increased to a decade plus high of 25.6 this year, a jump from 15.5 last year. So a year ago, it was 15.5. A quarter ago, it jumped up 10% to 25.6. And now it jumped up, another 15, 16% to 42% in a quarter? If I was a real economist again, that rate of growth would intrigue me. And while I was barely used at the many banks I worked at, I would take the tremendous amount of excess time I'd have at that moment in time and go research and find out why that was. But now I'm a big time, very important internet talky talk type of person, and I'm too fucking lazy and busy to do that right now. Somebody, not me, who actually is now officially a real economist, you go do that. You go find it out. I don't care. And then be and then be let down when the only person that cares about that detail of analysis is me. Like, wow, that's pretty cool, dude. Is it going to help you get employed in economics? Nah. Is it going to help you get laid? Nah. Is anyone going to give a shit? Nah, they're actually going to call you a national socialist for pointing out facts. Well, why would I do it then? Exactly. That's why you got to do the Krugman, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. Hey, man. You got to do the Krugman, man. You can't be this Thomas Sowell, Austrian economic empiricist, man. You got to, what do you want the number to be, man? I can give you any number you want, dude. You want me to rationalize socialism? I will. We just got to fail to carry the one. No one will analyze my research to that level. They'll publish it in the New York Times, and then everyone will get me a Nobel Prize, man. There, that's my Paul Krugman impersonation. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me finish it. And I hate Republicans there. Now I officially did the Paul Krugman. That guy had a hate boner for the Republicans. He may have actually voted Republican. Who knows? That would intrigue me. Why is it accelerating so quickly? Meanwhile, rejections for overall mortgage applications rose up to 22.6%, up from 13. It almost doubled. So overall mortgage applications are on the rise. So maybe the New York Federal Reserve doesn't have overall mortgage applications. They just have refi application data. Up from 13% in 2023, 17% in 2022. Rejections from mortgage refi applications hit 22% October 2024 compared to 9% in 2023 and 12.4% in 2022. So all these numbers are higher than, say, the past 15 years. The survey of consumer expectations credit access surveys fielded every 4 months engages consumers' experiences with and expectations about various kinds of credit demand and credit access. The data series began in 2013. Okay. The latest SCE credit access survey reveals largely stable credit demand, but increased rejection rate on credit applications in 2024, while providing an early glimpse of 2024's mortgage market in contrast to 2023. The application rate for credit cards reached 28.6% in October 2024, slightly below its 2023 level. But this is just, they're just going over some granular level of statistical detail. Likelihood of applying. You know, I got the impression when I was going through this before, it almost gave me the impression this was written by AI. All right. So it doesn't make sense to me why. In other words, it could be the actual number of refi applications is down, which would make sense. Therefore, only the most destitute among us are doing a mortgage refi because I need equity, bro. My wife ain't gonna like go out with me anymore if I don't buy her the granite countertops, bro. So I'm gonna go. Do I want to do most relevant? We're gonna rely on the wisdom of the masses to help me out here. And everyone's basically, why would anyone refi at a higher rate now? There's the ads. Complain about the boomers. Surprise. I'm wondering how many of them are ARMs, right? The interest rates kept going up, and then they had they want to go into a fixed mortgage. Credit crackdown. I don't know. Are underwriting standards being increased? Are you banks actually cracking down? Did Trump indicate to the banking system we're not bailing you out this time? Why would people refinance now when rates are likely higher than in the past? Is it to free up liquidity because they can't afford an inflationary environment? This doesn't seem like a great signal. Yeah, I think that's it. Precisely what happened leading up to October 30th, 2007. You know what happened next? Who the fuck is out here refinancing at 7? I'm still looking for a theory. I think that's basically it. These are just desperate and destitute people trying to squeeze the last bit of equity out before they actually have to get a real job. Who's refi? Yeah, most people are confused. Liquidity is drying up. Rate risk is sticky, and households can't roll debt. If you're refinancing, you're probably broke. Yeah, I could. There's thousands of comments on this. If any of you guys have a theory, look, you can all be economists. It's not that hard. You just be empirical. You take in data, you look in, you make a report. That's it. That's all you do. But yeah, I'm gonna guess it's your typical American debt pigs who, and it's probably a smaller percentage of the total. Like if you looked at refi, well, I'm not gonna look that up. I'm just gonna assume mortgage refi applications have gone down ever since interest rates have gone up, obviously. And the people resorting to this are your most desperate and debt-ridden and dude bro and girl bossy. I'm going to assume it's your consumers, materialists, consumptionists, if that's a word, and you people who you absolutely refuse to do real work and just spend less than you make. I'm gonna assume it's that. I would love. Here's what I want. I want to see the people of Edina, Castle Rock, Winnetka. I want to see them just crumble and suffer. I want to see inflation slowly erode. These people live paycheck to paycheck and make it seem like they're so much better than the rest of you because they took the bank's money and bought nice shit with it and portrayed it as their own. I want those fuckers to have everything repossessed by the bank and sold at very cheap rates to us, which is kind of good news for you young people who are looking to get into housing. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. You want blood in the streets because that means lower prices for you. That actually goes against technically my own personal financial interests, right? But I'm not selling my house tomorrow because I'm not some small penis dude, bro, who needs to constantly take out equity on my house to make it that I'm still the popular person I was 30 years ago. So to me, it's kind of irrelevant. But this is the beginning of good signs. I like seeing numbers go bad quickly. And for those of you young people, if you've been saving your money, now imagine if you actually paid off your student loan debt, you actually just save up some money and you had a good credit score, housing might become affordable again. That's if you would vote to remove all the illegal people from our country, and then that would also free up some more real estate. But that's for you to figure out and square out. I don't know how wedded you young kids are to your leftist politics you were told to have. All right, let's go to the super chats. Inquisitor Tibby, $10. Hey, Cappy, how much can I pay you to cover what's happening in the student loans and how if people are behind their wages, tax returns, etc., can get garnished? Well, if it's just about your the federal government garnishing your wages, they could do that for delayed tax payments. Any liability owned to the federal government, they can garnish your wages. I mean, if it's just that, I can look it up and give you a quick synopsis of it. But if you want me to like analyze the student loan market, like its origins, where it is now, the demographic breakdown, that's going to be way too much. I don't want to do it. I'm a lazy economist now. All my real economic work I did back in the day, where all they did was threaten to fire me and call me a guy with a funny mustache. So I'm not, I'm a very flippant, lazy, arrogant economist now. I'm like, hey, that number's going to happen. Where's your research? Oh, did the number happen? It did? Shut the fuck up, Keynesian. I can't hear you with John Maynard Keynes' dick in your mouth. If you could pull it out and speak Austrian or just facts, maybe we can make some progress. 50 bucks for me to go and research it. You want to send a request at Asshole Consulting? Go ahead. I roll there 4 a.m., 5 Canadian. I worked 55 to 60 hours a week while coworkers laughed at me. Now I have a paid out mortgage. The laughter has disappeared. It's a Scooby-Doo mystery. Must be nice. Hey, I roll there 4 a.m. So what are the common sayings lazy, inferior people to us say when we do our superior, logical, hardworking things? So what are the excuses now? Must be nice. Can't all be like you. Lucky. What else? Generally, I don't know how you do it. It's not math. It's anything but math. No, it's magic. You think you're better than me. There's another one. Congratulations, though, by the way, I rolled. That's nice that you don't have your mortgage paid off. Or that's nice that you do have your mortgage paid off. That's awesome. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field. I have a neighbor that just sold her house. She owed $65,000 on it after 20 years. My wife talked to her, and that neighbor said she loves gambling, shaking my damn head. I have a neighbor that just sold her house. She owed $65,000 on it after 20 years. Isn't that kind of normal? Are you in California though, Alex? But even if it was generally the United States, having a $65,000 mortgage balance after 20 years, that's pretty good. Most people just borrow more money. Are you saying that after she sold it, she still owed $65,000 on it? Is that what you're saying? Neighbor said she loves gambling. I know someone who, due to gambling, a relative of his lost the entire house. And they were going to get evicted well into retirement age. Yeah, those old grandma ladies on there. You see it in Vegas all the time, taking your Social Security money and throwing, I'm on a fixed income. Shishing, shishing, shishing. I'm on a fixed income. I think that is the comeuppance for the shit job of the come on baby light my fire generation, where you threw away. I don't know what y'all went for. You threw away family, you threw away fiscal responsibility, and now your entire life is just like when I'm 80 or in my 70s, I'm not going to the slot machines. That is not going to be how I spend my life. I'm not going to be one of these boomer protesters like, I hold a placard. I don't like Trump because the person is paying me $12 an hour to say. I'm going to be doing something else, but I'm not going to be gambling. I mean, I'm not play a game of poker or like some blackjack. But I'm not, hey, you know what I'm going to do for the next 8 hours? I'm going to sit in this one seat. I heard, because I live in Vegas, half the year, they make the seats now in for the slot machines. They make it like urine proof, because I guess it's such a common event now that fat old people sit there and just urinate themselves because they're so addicted. And I'm like, what a fucking world we're in, huh? United States of America. We're accommodating the urinators. Alex Pino, $2. Yes, that neighbor is a boomer. Well, of course. Professor Fuckwitz, Professor Fuckwitz, my God, the man himself in the flesh, $5. Research suggests Americans are able to tap their home equity to contend with macroeconomic uncertainty, tariffs, and inflation. Bravo, sir. Well played. Studies show. Femboy Fantasia, $5. You touched on the fact yesterday that it's actually hard to be empirical with economics. Data can be a tool, but it's not like the physical sciences. Well, this is why economics is just as worthless as the rest of the social sciences, unless you take it actually very seriously. And I've been thinking about, maybe not writing a book, but an essay or a lengthy piece on simplifying economics through some basic laws that are more along the lines of the conservation of mass laws of physics, like these inviolable laws. What is it? Is it the 5 laws of physics? Like mass and energy must be maintained. And kind of with economics, nothing good comes without hard work. Money printing always results in inflation. Some very basic rules, because that's all economics really is. And there was I would consider this a glory era of economics, where the internet started having all this free data uploaded onto it. And then I think the powers that be in various governments, regardless of political party, started manipulating the data. Like China, you just know not to trust it. You just know not to trust their official economic data. But in the United States too, like shadow stats, like he does a pretty good job. And it's real sad, because you put garbage in, you get garbage out. And as I got older, looking at most economists are just Democrat dick sucking, corporate men, yes men. I mean, but in a government sense. And they are skewed. They're completely biased by Keynesian. They think the government should intervene and that somehow you can eliminate the business cycle, and that you could somehow do a soft landing or boost the economy. And it's like, who fucking died and made you God? It's not your fucking responsibility. It's like garbage collection or municipal management should be very boring. You should keep the inflation rate stable, right? You should protect the currency. You should have good finances and no debt. It's very simple. But economists like to do this magic shit. Oh, multiplier effect. Oh, yeah. Whatever. I'm trying to think of the dumbest shit they came up with. Negative externalities and all this hokum. And so as the data got corrupted and the motivations, the narratives got corrupted by politics, they're not economists. They're politicians who abuse economics. But yeah, there was a time where you could go to the OECD, the International Labor Organization, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Federal Reserve. Oh, it's a ton of data. It was great. And it jived with reality. Like, you'd run the numbers like, well, that makes sense. And you'd see it and, oh yeah, it is. Okay. So you knew the numbers had veracity. Now I'm not so sure, in part because it's been a long time since I've done any serious number crunching and looked at it. But no, economics is not the physical sciences. It's just it's sad because economists, interestingly enough, economics majors have some of the highest IQs. They're up there with physicists. That intelligence should be put towards the physical sciences, because economics is just a political tool now. It should largely, it's like psychology. It should largely be disregarded. It doesn't mean anything. Robert Donovan, $5. Pay too much for your house. Add car loans, student loans, and credit cards. Attempt to refinance to get more cash out. Not surprised it's 43%. Yeah, Robert, I think you summarized it. I think you made the most concise explanation. I think you nailed it. Uber Noob, $5. How much of young people's Social Security goes to directly compete with them in housing? I estimate about a third, so about 5% overall pay. I don't know. We'd have to find out. We already know the data, what percent of home buyers were baby boomers, people collecting Social Security. You'd have to look at total sales of people in that demographic and then subtract that or divide that by total Social Security payments. And then you could say that. I don't know. It may be 5%. Yeah. All right, that's it. Link below is a book called Enjoy the Decline, Accepting and Living with the Death of the United States, written by me 12 years ago, 13 years ago. I am that good. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.